send them their cut. That's the way it works. And what's so disappointing with me, Skip, Floyd Mayweather has gone through this before. What is it that you don't get? Floyd, you made $230, and I get it, Skip. I can just imagine getting a check for $230 million. Like, hold on. I ain't see I, R, or S in that ring taking no blows. And I'm supposed to send them, yep, you're supposed. Yeah. And I'm even more disappointed because you're on Instagram and on Twitter flaunting your
Is Mayweather broke?
Are y'all new here?
Yeah. Is he broke?
Yeah.
He's broke.
Yeah.
That Floyd's public image depends so much on this narrative. He wants everyone to see him as this untouchable figure, someone who's made it, someone who is always in the winner's circle. But the more that's revealed about his financial struggle, Shannon Sharpe calls out the falsehoods. If you're truly that wealthy, paying taxes on time shouldn't be an issue. It's a lack of responsibility, and it's one of the most significant contradictions in Floyd's finance, constantly showing off his cash. But then, there's the reality. Reports that Floyd owes the IRS millions in taxes, reports that Floyd is in debt, and even recently being held in a country for having betting debts. These aren't rumors. This is a real, documented issue with talks around it.
Retired 15. You said this was the last. Skip, I watched him talking to Stephen A. Says, I'm done. I ain't coming back for no amount of money. I'm done. Come on, man. Come on, Floyd. This should be beneath you.
If you...
What do you make of it?
No, I don't like it. Skip, the man has made over $500 million
500 million?
in his last 3 fights. You're 50 and you said you want...
Not just the tax issues that make Shannon speak out. Floyd has made his name off his money, claiming to have made hundreds of millions over the years. But Shannon sees the desperation behind the stunts. Floyd's exhibition fights, for instance, have been a major point of contention. These are fights against lesser opponents, even social media stars, where the primary goal seems to be filling. Floyd's actions don't just annoy Shannon, they also frustrate others in the boxing world. People who have been around the sport, seen the big money come and go, and understand what it means to truly secure your financial future. Eddie Hearn also pointed out that...
I don't even want to talk about it. Like with the lifestyle, that money's gone, trust me. Now it's like, you call him, he'll be at your, your local host in a nightclub, because you need that action right now.
You think you should... So the money's really gone?
Yeah, that's what you think. It's get the money, spend the money.
All that money?
Yeah, it's been 2 years.
So is it just his overhead is so high on a day-to-day, month-to-month? Like,
I don't know.
Adding to the controversy, Mayweather's extravagant lifestyle continues to draw attention. During the 2024 Super Bowl weekend in Las Vegas, he reportedly spent over $1 million on a luxury suite at the Allegiant Stadium and made significant purchases. Floyd's been in the game long enough to know when to walk away, but he keeps fighting because he needs the money. He needs to keep the image alive and prove to the world that he's on top. It's not about the fight, it's about the attention. Shannon has repeatedly called this out, saying that Floyd's behavior contradicts everything. It was a stunning moment. Stephen A. wasn't speaking as a hater or a critic. He was speaking as someone who's watched Floyd climb to the top of the world only to now question whether he's falling without realizing it. That's not hate, that's heartbreak.
It's worse, your jeweler filed a lawsuit against you in Miami. And many are saying you're gonna have to sell off your assets. I hate seeing this happen, bro. As I've always said, it's hard to make money, but it's even harder to keep it. Floyd,
But its problems, the questionable exhibition matches or the lies about luxury apartments, the image of Floyd Mayweather as the king of money isn't as secure as he wants everyone to believe. Like even Canelo now, see through it. They know the difference between building a brand and hiding behind it. The Mayweather brand used to be about hard work, dedication. Now it's about selfies in private jets and auctioning off fantasy fights to the highest bidder, and of course building wealth as he calls it.
More to the point.
I can make $200 million in 18 months because I want to, because I want to come back and steal some more money. Is that okay with you?
It's fine.
Okay,
I enjoy watching your fights.
Okay.
Who might be next?
It does.
Yes, you often say, you're just a guy with a job. I have a job, though. So who would you fight next?
And guess what? Your job don't pay like my job.
Well, it depends.
Your job don't pay like my job.
Shannon Sharpe doesn't hold back because he's jealous or trying to tear someone down. He calls it like he sees it. And he sees Floyd Mayweather as a man who's wasted an opportunity. He could have been the perfect example of how to turn boxing success into lasting financial freedom. This only added to the growing criticism that Floyd is more interested in pretending to be rich than actually making smart financial moves. For Shannon Sharpe, this kind of stunt is at more than just your bank account. It's not just about dollars anymore. It's about value, relevance, authenticity, legacy. And that's what Mayweather is quietly losing in real time, even if the headlines still chase his name.
Money made all day. You know, right here, a light million. Over there, counting up another million over there. Walk with me, ladies and gentlemen. Let me take you into my life. So Andrew Jackson, of course, was only 20.
Fights, YouTuber spectacles, and pay-per-view jokes. The issue now isn't just about what Floyd didn't do back then, it's about what he's still doing now, and why. The constant flow of exhibition fights, the cringeworthy staged pressers, the wild rumors like a fight about all along. It's not about the wealth, it's about the performance. Floyd is selling an illusion, one where he's always on top, always in control, but the reality doesn't match up with the story he's telling. Performance. Got the kind of money Floyd says he has, you don't need to flex constantly. True wealth doesn't need constant validation. It's quiet, steady, and secure. But Shannon Sharpe has quickly pointed out that Floyd's flashy display with Rio Ferdinand, the whole thing reeks of desperation wrapped in designer clothes. These fights are supposedly just fun for Floyd, a man who claims he's choosing to fight, not needing to. But how many times does a man need to say he's rich before people start wondering if he's just covering what he spends?
Yeah, but I think he has a lot of other business interests that he can get money from.
Hopefully.
And not just boxing. But it's the drug of getting Floyd still trained.
Why take the risk?
Yeah. Of boxing. Just
also
like
money.
Just like but I don't even think he don't need any money. He
spends so much money.
Yeah, but he don't need any. Floyd,
Are you sure?
Yeah, Floyd good.
I bet if he's playing for the future, you got to keep it coming in if you're going to keep spending.
He would have gotten washed in the 90s, more people start nodding. When Paul calls him out for ducking payment, more people listen. When fans start laughing at the idea of a Floyd versus Rio Ferdinand fight, the illusion starts to crack. It's crazy. Light a pattern of skepticism regarding Mayweather's financial claims. While he continues to project an image of success and wealth, the lack of clear evidence and the presence of disputes suggests that his financial narrative may not be as solid as presented. Mayweather by questioning where his money goes, and that is, if he has any left. The questions Shannon asked were straightforward. If you're truly wealthy, why do you need to show it off all the time? And why do you lie about buying stuff you just can't afford?
Yeah, he's fighting like what, 8 times a year.
Yeah, it's more to it than
whoever
that.
for them. Whoever's in the ranking.
Well, I think it's all subjective.
Picking whoever you are, come on.
I think there are more metrics and more measurements. He was 84-0, right?
89, 90 and 0 before he lost.
89 and 0. Wow. So
don't tell me about you the greatest fighter with 50 and 0, nigga. You're great, no doubt about it, nigga. 50 and 0. Chavez had 90.
Shannon Sharpe has consistently been one of the loudest voices calling out Floyd Mayweather's financial habits and the contradictions in his public image. Floyd's whole brand is built on wealth. Money Mayweather. He flaunts his extravagant lifestyle, blood and guts era, where champions didn't cherry-pick names for resume polish but went through fire against legends in their primes. He didn't see Floyd doing that. Instead, he saw someone who played the timing game, who waited out the dangerous names, who capitalized on calculated risks and marketing over...
Yeah.
And I'm pointing like this because all of them, we're in New York City right now. We're in Manhattan. That's what we do.
Him from himself. Floyd wants the world to respect the hustle, and maybe he deserves that. His rise was unprecedented. His discipline in the ring is unmatched. Floyd's financial situation doesn't add up. He said that Floyd might not be as wealthy as he claims. Hearn's seen the numbers behind the sport. He knows the real business. So when he says Floyd is exaggerating his wealth, that hits differently. Hearn isn't the only one. Joe...
See that he's lying and fraud, and when you look into his paperwork, everybody say the paperwork's still into the person name who owned it. So he going around fraud and taking false pictures. They say he...
The problem is these don't align with reality. Floyd Mayweather's wealth might be more about the image he's created than the financial foundation behind it. One of the main issues Shannon has with Mayweather is the constant contradictions. Mayweather presents himself as financially unbreakable. always throwing around numbers in the hundreds of millions, constantly show. Don't forget how that bleeds into his reputation. Every time he fights an influencer, he cheapens the weight of his legacy. Every time he steps into a ring, not for pride, competition, or greatness, but for clout and cash, he gives his critics more ammo. When people like Tony say...
You know what's crazy? People are always in my fucking business, worried about what I'm doing. What Floyd is doing, what Floyd ain't doing, what I do got, what I don't got. Just know.
Up the bank account rather than maintaining a fighting legacy. It's not about proving yourself in the ring anymore. It's about securing another payday. And that, to Shannon, is a red flag. If you're financially secure, why must you keep fighting, especially against opponents who don't pose a real challenge? And when guys like Tony call that out, it hits a nerve because it's not jealousy. Tony's legacy doesn't need Mayweather's approval. He fought killers and beat them. It's not hate, it's boxing IQ calling BS on the smoke and mirrors era that Floyd helped craft. The same era that's now producing TikTok paycheck. A man who had to ask the IRS for a delay on a $22 million tax bill after the Pacquiao fight. A man who had to defend himself against federal charges for undisclosed crypto promotion. A man who still hasn't fully paid Logan Paul for their exhibition. Rogan, another high-profile personality, weighed in on Floyd's financial habits too. Rogan highlighted how Mayweather's need to keep fighting exhibition matches for big paydays doesn't seem like the behavior of a man who's truly financially stable.
You know? Like,
this guy has a lot of chains.
So many chains, bro. That's, chains, that's a depreciating asset.
Yeah.
Get yourself something.
Late 40s now, still fighting these random people in random places.
Yeah.
For 5 million here, 10 million there.
No, he's just a big spender. You can't spend like
anymore. It's in how people perceive him. And more, that perception is cracking. The respect Floyd once commanded in the sport is slipping, not because he lost a fight, but because he's turning his name into a circus. Real ones in the sport, guys like Tony, like Rogan, tracks the narratives. But lately that control is slipping. And when multiple influential voices start raising the same alarm, guys who don't usually agree on anything, you have to stop and consider. Maybe they're not just talking. Maybe they're trying to save where the money is fleeting, where the legacy isn't growing. Instead of using his platform to show how to build lasting wealth, he's been more interested in creating an image of a man who has everything, when in reality it's unclear how long that everything will last. Secure? Floyd talks big about having all this money, but then he's doing fights that don't hold any real value, just for cash. If he really had the kind of money he claims, why would he keep doing this? Why take the risk?
Yeah. One of my all-time favorite fighters, my brother, Floyd Money Mayweather. Which is why I sit here with sadness today to report to you that I'm incredibly disappointed.
People are quietly asking, is Floyd Mayweather still as rich as he says he is? Or is the money just enough of a facade to keep the house of cards standing? Joe Rogan didn't bite his tongue when he brought this up on his podcast. He pointed at Floyd's spending habits, his million-dollar watches, his obsession with maintaining a billionaire persona, and straight up said it. Floyd reportedly owes back taxes, and on top of that, he's even publicly requested extensions to delay payments. That's a big problem for someone who claims to have an endless money supply. It's not about debt. Every wealthy person has debt at some point. It's all while still claiming he makes $20 to $30 million for every non-sanctioned sparring session against an influencer. If that were true, why haven't those court issues disappeared? Why is he always having to say how rich he is over and over and over again?
Expensive, but come on, dude, put your legacy first. Nobody wants to remember you like this. And it gets worse, your jeweler filed a lawsuit against you in Miami. And many are saying you're gonna have to sell off your assets. I hate seeing
Floyd Mayweather,
50 years old. You're a legend in the sport. I've stood up for you in countless interviews, including Shannon Sharpe's podcast last week. But you have to stop embarrassing yourself with these exhibitions. I know life is hard. I know life is expensive.
A true wealth builder does. Real wealth doesn't need validation. It doesn't need to be put on display 24/7. Real wealth doesn't have to rely on public recognition. Floyd has constantly put himself in situations where Floyd is out here living large, but Shannon's point is that it's all smoke and mirrors. He's not living like someone who's truly set for life. What really triggered some of the latest backlash was Floyd's recent claim about purchasing.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me take you into my life. So Andrew Jackson, of course, is on the 20. Money made, money made, money made all day. You know, right here, the light million. Over there, counting up another million over there.
With posts of endless stacks of cash, expensive cars, watches, private jets, and lavish homes. But recently, Shannon has challenged Mayweather by questioning where his money, very foundation of the Mayweather myth. "I'm deeply disappointed in one of my all-time favorite fighters," he said, "my brother Floyd Mayweather. It wasn't a hot take for the sake of headlines. This came from a place of concern, a sobering disappointment laced with genuine confusion. Floyd should be enjoying his life and not focusing so much on proving how much money he's made." But for Shannon, Tyson's take doesn't hold up. It's not just about enjoying the wealth, it's about how you manage it. Tyson might say Floyd should
never actually thought he could beat Floyd Mayweather, but
he did great.
But for a few rounds, he went toe-to-toe with him, and it was really interesting to watch.
He did really
and it was a massive success.
One of the best.
This has all been a very smart marketing play. I get that. I mean, I went down to see your mate Conor McGregor fight Floyd Mayweather, and it was a fascinating thing to watch.
He could have used his platform to show others how to build wealth, invest wisely, and create something that lasts. But instead, he's stuck in a cycle of flashy moments and short-term gains. Floyd had the potential to build a legacy beyond boxing, but he's built a brand around wealth that's looking more. The money has to keep coming in because the lifestyle isn't slowing down. That kind of living doesn't support itself unless the income is constant. And that's why you're seeing Floyd take these low-risk, high-money fights against nobodies. It's not about competition. It's about keeping the lights on. Like 50 said, more hollow with each passing day. And that's where Shannon Sharpe sees the real tragedy. Not because Floyd isn't rich, but because he could have done so much more with his success than just throwing it all around for the cameras. People who are truly secure in their wealth and legacy don't talk like that. Floyd doesn't just want to be rich. He wants to be seen as rich, unstoppably, untouchably rich. The problem is that the more he chases that image, the more artificial it looks. The value isn't in the dollar.
Exhibitions. So why would I come back and fight and get a guaranteed 35 million when I'm doing exhibitions and getting 100 million?
Because that's the question a lot of people.
Some may make 10 or 20 million, but I'm doing exhibitions and I'm making 20, 25 million, 100 million.
Including a substantial bet on the game. While such displays of wealth are consistent with his public persona, they also raise questions about his financial priorities and the sustainability of his spending habits. These criticisms from various individuals in the sports industry highlight. Then there's Mike Tyson, who also had some things to say about Floyd's approach to wealth. Tyson, a man who's seen the highs and lows of financial success, offered his opinion on Floyd's lavish lifestyle. He mentioned that
section, but I like to call it wallpaper. 200,000 in 20s. I heard in the song you can get the biggest Chanel bag in the store if you want it. Well, it's the biggest Chanel bag in the world.
This is a man living paycheck to paycheck.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, limited edition AP, all factory. 1.8 million right here. The $20 bills section. We like to call this the Andrew Jackson.
His questionable claims and his need for constant validation, the more it looks like Floyd's wealth is built on a house of cards. The moment the facade starts to crack, it becomes harder and harder to ignore. Floyd may want to be seen as the ultimate success story, but the cracks are showing. Whether it's the tax processing luxury apartments in Manhattan. Floyd posted on social media, proudly claiming that he had just bought multiple apartments in one of the most expensive places in the world, Manhattan, and that these properties were now under his name.
There you go. That's what he did. I need everybody, all the fighters all around the world. MMA, boxers, follow this man right here. We get the job done. Money, man, and y'all know the rest.
Because people...
Aaron Mayweather, too. No money green on him. Change it up. Change it up. Change it up. That's what we do. There you go. There you go.